All right. Let's get to work. Happy Monday, January 4th. Today we've got some balancing components. We got stability components. We've done this thing before. As you know, maybe my volume increases, right? I'm looking for a little pace and intensity. I'm labeling this one as work it out. It's Monday. Let's get going. Most of us, it's a great check off and waking up early and getting back after it. But for you guys that have been here so many times, it's just a nice good old-fashioned workout, and we need to get warmed up. And it's warm out that I kind of adjusted a little bit last week. We'll start with our standing scissors. Okay, here we go. Let's go. 10 standing scissors, which we're going to do 3 times with our squats. Again, we've done this stuff before. Getting nice and warm and loose. Like I was saying, we have balancing components, we have stability components, we have pulling, we have pushing, we have legs and abs, so a very thorough day. 10 standing scissors, 10 regular squats, and regular squats, remember, your feet are shoulder width apart, just like regular wall sits, regular hip bridges, regular leg presses. It's just a starting point, right? Feet about shoulder width apart, your toes are able to wiggle. I'm not on my heels, right? And my hips and my glutes and my eyes and my thighs, and I'm working and I'm getting warmed up. 10 regular squats, and then 10 standing scissors again. Lengthen those muscles you squat with, lunge with, sit on, right? We do a lot of that stuff, a lot with it. Working. 10 standing scissors, 10 wide squats. Feet are wider than those regular squats. Feet are wider than your shoulders. And as those feet get wider, those toes point out a little bit more. So as you get to these things, those toes get out there just a tiny bit. Whereas that's a plie squat, a little more of a flexibility squat. 10 wide squats. Again, I'm going to push that pace a tiny bit. 10 standing scissors for the third and last time. In the middle of our workout and the end of our workout, you have the option of exertions or cardio. You'll start hearing me probably reflecting a little bit more on other tools if you have them. 10 narrow squats. Your feet are narrower than your shoulders. Your feet are narrower than your regular squats. In fact, I hope your feet are inside the width of your hips. Remember, your challenge as you do these warm-ups is to exaggerate the motion a little bit. So that's why I can say a wide squat is a flexibility squat and a narrow squat is a mobility squat. We then get into our runners. 10 standing runners. Runners is elbows to knees, not knees to nose. A smidge more mobility with your hips, knees, ankles, spine moving a little bit more. You'll then go into your stationary reverse lunges. Test. Your front leg is always a working leg. True or false? Oh, Tom, yes. The front leg is always the working leg. It's just not always the moving leg. Load that front leg. When you get done with those 10 stationary reverse lunges, 10 standing runners again. Mobility of hips. Your hips move more. You've got mobility of knees and ankles, right? Mobility of spine. I know it sounds corny. As long as you're not doing the little ones, you're doing the big ones, you're going to have a little more mobility. When you get done, we turn into our balancing, dynamic lengthening of our stiff-legged deadlifts. And you heard me say that a million times. It's not a stretching exercise, although it might feel like that. You contract your hamstrings and glutes when you get into that position, and then your challenge is to lengthen those contracted hamstrings and glutes. And that's that eccentric motion that we've talked about a little bit. When you lengthen a contracted muscle, it's an eccentric motion. 10 alternating stiff-legged deadlifts. Again, you got balance, you got coordination. 10 standing runners. Again, optionally for the last time today on your 10 standing runners, elbows to knees. Exaggerate the motion, not knees to nose. You'll then do 10 stationary forward lunges. Step, load, and push yourself back. Remember, that front leg is always the working leg, and it is the moving leg, and it's loaded, and then you push yourself back on the stationary forward lunges. When you get done, we're going to get into the Jack LaLannes with our agility. We're almost done with this warm-up. Jack LaLannes. I started touching on it last week on playing with the width of your feet on your Jack LaLannes. The narrower you are, the more it goes down the hamstrings to even maybe behind the knee. The wider you are, it goes up the hamstrings, and you have the hamstring origin, which is way up there. So play with the width of your feet. 10 Jack LaLannes, and then 10 high knees, running revolutions or walking reps. And remember, they're called high knees. I didn't say run in place. After your 10 high knees, running revolutions or walking reps, you've got your Jack LaLannes again. Remember, Jack LaLannes is dynamic stretching, and stiff-legged deadlifts is dynamic lengthening. They probably feel similar. However, you wouldn't hold 30-pound dumbbells on your Jack LaLannes, would you? Maybe you would, Leon. After your 10 Jack LaLannes, you've got your butt kicks. Again, running revolutions or walking reps. Remember, the walking is just as good for you, right? It requires a little more exertion on the walking rep. One more round, 10 Jack LaLannes. Again, play with the width of your feet. A little wider, a little narrower. And you gotta get up. 10 Jack LaLannes. And then you're gonna do 10 jumping jacks or walking jacks. And you have the opportunity to repeat these mobility things later on our exertion break. But you also have the agilities and the plyometrics too. 10 jumping jacks or walking jacks. They're both big and wide. One has a little more impact than the other. And that was your warm-up, which we've done so many times. When you're ready, this circuit, we have done balancing rows before. I'll demonstrate, we've talked about it. If you're at the gym, however, I would give you the opportunity of balancing or load. If you have the opportunity to get something really heavy, I would be okay with that today on a Monday, January 4th. Your balancing or loaded rows are going to be a rep range of 8 to 12. You have a big rep range. If you're just struggling on the balance, maybe the rep range is low. If you're really heavy, maybe the rep range is low. 8 to 12 is your rep range, okay? Right side row. And then you have a choice of shoulders or triceps pushing. We've done this before. Our pushing is going to be 30 down by 5. Then we're going to do our left side row, and then every other round is legs and every other round is abs. You know how this thing plays out. Here we go. When you balance, or if you balance, you can balance on your right leg. That is unilateral load or super loading. You can balance on your left leg. That is bilateral load or cross balance, when the upper body is working one way and the lower body is working either the same way or a different way. 8 to 12 is your rep range. And then you either do shoulders pushing or triceps pushing for 30. Round 1. Now, we've done ladders. We have 2 big circuits today. Both circuits are 6 rounds, so it's a lot. However, I'm going to be changing your legs. I'm going to be changing your abs. Okay? It's one of those. Today's workout. Listen and do. I'm sorry if I generalize it, but just take the instruction and go get some. You can do shoulder presses sitting tall or standing tall. You can do triceps, overheads, dips, kickbacks, skull crushers. 30 pushing reps, round 1. It is a long round. The pushing reps will decrease by 5, which we've done before. So there is a sense of pace, which means I don't want you waiting or resting, but you also have to listen to what we're going to be doing. Your rows, you have a rep range, 8 to 12 right, then you're going to push, and then 8 to 12 left, and then you need to listen for your legs and abs. So we're still on round 1. After your 30 push, you'll do your left side row, 8 to 12. Remember, it's going to feel slow to start. We're going to crank the dial up here. You can balance if you want to balance. If you have the chance to be heavy and loaded, take the opportunity. 8 to 12 reps. Round 1 is 25 regular squats. Weight is optional. If you need to rest your hands, rest your hands. 25 regular squats. You did 10 regular squats earlier on your warm-up. Remember, regular position. Feet are shoulder width apart. Remember the rhythm. Hips, they move a ton. Your glutes should always turn on. Eyes, posture. You're looking out in front of you. You're not looking down. You're not looking up. And then when I say the word thighs, some people chuckle. It is the reminder it's a leg exercise, not a back exercise. Hips, glutes, eyes, thighs. Breathe. 25 regular squats. You won't do those again today. I am going to change your legs and your abs throughout the day. If you get ahead of me, cool. Slow your motion down a little bit. If you get too far behind, cool. Remember, you have ways to quote unquote catch up. Round 2, 8 to 12 right. You've got a rep range, whether it's balancing or it's loaded. Remember, you have those core rows, which isn't technically balancing, right? 8 to 12 is your rep range on your right rows. All circuit. Round 2 is 25 either shoulders pushing or triceps pushing. You can mix up your pushing, shoulders or triceps. Round 2, 25. Remember, you'll have the right row goes to your push. Your left row goes to either a leg or ab. So for all of you that know me well, thorough, comprehensive, right? You don't have to think a lot. I want you to be aware, right? I want you to be in tune to what you're doing. But sometimes, just gotta listen to what you gotta do and go do it. Round 2, 8 to 12 right rows, 25 shoulders or triceps pushing. You'll have your left 8 to 12 rows, and then you're gonna do 25 sit-ups. You can either lay on a ground ball or bench on your sit-ups. You won't do sit-ups again today. We essentially have 12 different rounds of work between our legs and our abs. Later on, we'll do stability pushes, combo with our pulling, right? You've done these things before. After your left 8 to 12 reps, you're on your abs, sit-ups, 25. You can lay on a ground ball bench. You can have your legs straight. You can have your knees bent. You can have your feet wide, your feet narrow. Totally play with the position on your sit-ups. You can have one leg straight, one leg bent. Again, I do want the formal active sit-ups. How much can your upper body sit up onto your lower body? So round 2, 8 to 12 right rows, 25 pushing shoulder or triceps, 8 to 12 left rows, and then you have your 25 sit-ups. Just so I can be a little bit ahead of you, so you know what to do, so you don't have to take breaks. Round 3, you've got your 8 to 12 right rows, same, 20 on your pushes, less, 8 to 12 left rows, and then I hope you can guess the legs, because we're squatting this circuit. We've already done our regular squats. So round 3, remember you don't, or you really shouldn't even be starting it yet, but if you are, you've got either a balancing component, mixing up the leg you're balancing on, you have a loaded component, right? You could get really heavy, and then you could also do a core component, right? You can mix up that right side row, and that's partially depending on the weight you have, the balance you want to work out in, right? There's so many different ways of doing these things. 8 to 12 right rows, 25 wide squats. We did wide squats earlier. If you're holding the weight, I do want the weight down. The weight pulls you down. When the weight is up, it's awesome. You turn on more core, but when you get too much core activation, your hips won't move as much, so you might lose motion. When you have the weight down, it's supposed to pull you down. And if you're watching, wide squats are simply wide. Sumo squats, you've got that depth and load. It's also a slower exercise. So let's just focus on the wide squat today. We'll do those sumo squats again soon. And really, the biggest difference is the mobility of a sumo squat because of the depth and load required on a sumo squat. Round 3, 8 to 12 right rows, 25 wide squats. I'm trying to be a little bit ahead of you. You'll have your 8 to 12 left rows. Did I do the squats already? We were supposed to do our push. My first mistake of 2021. Can you believe it? Whoopsies. You have your 8 to 12 left rows, and then we'll have that 20 on your push, shoulders or triceps. I can't believe it. I didn't even make it to February, and I already have my first mistake of 2021. Oh, jeez. Got that out of the way. It's kind of like the undefeated football team, right? They're 14-0 and 13-0, and it starts getting stressful. You know, it's stressful when you haven't made a mistake and you get all the way to December. 20 shoulder pushes, you can sit tall or stand tall. 20 tricep pushes, you've got dips, you've got kickbacks, you've got overheads. Mix up your pushes this circuit. I will be controlling your pushes the next circuit, okay? 20 is the number. Now, I made that mistake on the rhythm, my bad. As you know, there's no true penalty on that one. When you get to round 4, I'm trying to be a little ahead of you. Don't be discouraged if you're behind. Round 4 is that 8 to 12 right side row. If you can increase the physical load, what you're holding, awesome. If you can't, increase the time under tension. Maybe it's just a little bit slower. Maybe you can change your position. Change that right row a little bit so you have some stimulation. Round 4, 8 to 12 right row, 15 on your pushing. I know you just did some. That was my fault. 8 to 12 right row, 15 on your pushing. Dips, kickbacks, overheads, skull crushers on those triceps, or the pushing shoulders. Really, there's only one movement, right? Sitting tall or standing tall, unless you have a machine or an adjustable bench. You'll then have your 8 to 12 left rows, and they're going to be on the ground for your reverse crunches. So we're back to a different ab. Remember, it's gonna seem tedious. Plenty of sets of your rows, plenty of reps on your pushing. I change your legs and abs. Round 4, after your 15 push and you get your rows done, you're on your 25 reverse crunches. Both legs are moving. You can lay on the ground, you can lay on a bench. Your body can be down, your body can be up. A lot of people say, oh, your head is up. Well, my head is off the ground because my body went up. I engaged my abs. So you have an isometric component and then you have the concentric ab exercise. But if that's too hard on your neck or even your back, right, your body can be down, your legs are moving because of your abs. Round 4, 25 reverse crunches. Both legs are moving on those reverse crunches. You guys are cruising along. This is very thorough. Technically, nothing will imbalance you about today's workout. We have these 2 big circuits. Later on, we'll do our alternating legs and abs. So I can label full body, right? Some legs, some abs, stability, balance, a little bit of everything. We'll have a little wake up circuit here, or stimulation coming here soon. Round 5. Remember, I hope I'm a little bit ahead of you. Round 5. I'm sorry you're not done with this yet. 8 to 12 right rows for the 5th time. You'll be on your 10 pushing shoulders or triceps. You'll have those rows, and then we'll do our narrow squats when you get there. As we've talked about many times. I think this is like workout 126 or 127, right? We've done so many workouts. Everybody has a different space they're in, mental and physical. People have different weights they're using, right? Some people have a lot, and some people don't have a lot. Round 5, 8 to 12 right row, 10 on your push, shoulders or triceps. Then you'll do your 8 to 12 left row, and then you're gonna be on your narrow squats for 25. Narrow squats is round 5. No, you are not done. Remember, there's balancing rows, mixing up what leg you're balancing on. You have unilateral and bilateral focus points. You've got core rows. You're technically not balancing, but you're working on staying square. And then you have loaded rows. So there's tons of ways to do this. After your left side rows, you're on your narrow squats. If you have one weight under chin, I mean, you can hold one weight outside and mix up your hands. If you have 2 weights, they could be up on your shoulders, up on your body, or they can be down outside your legs. There's lots of different things that we have controlled before when you do weight distribution legs, but that really isn't the intent today, especially when you have your balancing rows that you're doing. 25 narrow squats. Hips, they move a ton. Glutes always turn on. Maintain and or exaggerate motion. Hopefully it's loaded, maybe it's not. And then it's get down there, get dirty, get funky, and you're gonna think about those quads a little bit more on a narrow squat. 25 narrow squats, you have the 1 more round to go. 8 to 12 right rows. 5 on your pushes. 8 to 12 left rows. 25 toe touches on your abs. Last round, we're then gonna go stimulate the soul for a minute. I wanna make sure you guys stay awake on a Monday morning. But we can say it's getting a little bit lighter, although the weather has dictated that. But we're adding minutes of light a day since we passed the winter solstice 2 weeks ago. So in about another 2 weeks, you might notice that little longer light maybe. Round 6, last round, you've got your 8 to 12 on your right rows, 5 on your pushes, 8 to 12 left rows, and then 25 toe touches. I'm trying to be a little bit ahead of you. That way you have pace, right? You don't have to wait for me as you get your workout done. Plus, I want to be able to talk about that middle stimulation circuit soon. And we'll talk about if you have different tools, what you can go do. "25 toe touches ends this circuit. You can lay on the ground, you can lay on a bench. You can have both legs up, you can have one leg up and switch it. Toe touches, you shorten the muscle in the position. Your legs go up. And then you shorten the muscle in the exercise, which is a very common movement along almost everything at the gym per se. Shortening a shortened muscle on your toe touches. Please maintain and or exaggerate the motion you can have. However, what's going to limit you is mobility of your spine, movement of your spine, and the flexibility of your posterior muscles. Hamstrings, glutes, your back muscles can inhibit or stop your motion. So challenge the toe touch. "Oh, Chris, toe touches are easy." You're going too quick. Simple as that. When you get done, we have a stimulation thing to do. We've done the stimulation before. It's an easy number. If you have a cardio tool, go do 5 minutes of cardio. If you want to set your timer and run around your house for 5 minutes, cool. I want you to wake up. I want you to separate from the circuit. If you don't have a cardio tool and or you want to join this class on this, you've got 300 exertions. I didn't say 300 reps, right? You can do jump, squat, split, jumps, burpees, lateral bench hops for your plyometrics. You can do agility, high knees, butt kicks, jumping jacks, taps, right, ski hops, revolutions on your agility, and you can do reps on your mobility, standing scissors, standing runners, jack-o'-lanterns. You guys all know this. This is not new for you. 300 movements. If it's quicker, right, if it's not as hard, right, like an agility exercise, you're going to do revolutions for the most part, except for jumping jacks. If you're going to do a little bigger, a little slower, a little more methodical, whether it's plyometric or mobility, it's going to be reps. I know it's hard to count to 300. Well aware, right? Maybe you do 100 of each. Mobility is movement. Agility is quicker, quieter, displacing weight. And plyometric is bigger, louder, more intense movement of load. Anyhow, 300. But if you have the cardio tool, treadmill, erg, bike, elliptical, you can go time yourself running around the house. 5 minutes of work. Just so you can see it. Taps. If it's bigger, challenging, slower, it's reps, because you got to really think about it. And if it's a little quicker, a little easier, and you're good with it, I want revolutions. Same with high knees. Running, revolutions, walking, reps. They're both good for you. Butt kicks, running, revolutions, walking, reps. Those are agility. You may not feel like it, but it is. Ski hops. Something quick, something simple, something quiet, right? Agility isn't loud, it's quick. You're on your toes, it's smooth, but everybody has a different level of quickness, right? A different ability. You've got bench taps, right? High knees, butt kicks, jumping jacks, all those quick ones. Plyometrics, jump squat, split jump, burpees. You've got skater hops. Right? Again, they're normally a little bigger. And when I use the word loud, it's normally more like oomph. You know, it's still pretty quiet. You shouldn't have that major loud impact. If I had the bench that my iPad is on, you'd have lateral bench hops, right? Something bigger, something more movement, more motion displacement. Unfortunately, plyometrics, more power, more impact. Mobility, standing scissors, you warmed up with these earlier, standing runners, and Jack LaLanne's. And again, if you have the tools, you could go row for 5 minutes. Can you get 1,000 meters in 5 minutes? Ooh, you could run for 5 minutes. Can you get a half mile? You could bike for 5 minutes. Can you get a mile or more? You got airdynes, we got art trainers, we got stair climbers. Again, you could go push your timer and go run up and down your stairs. 5 minutes, 300 moves. It's pretty rare that I ask something so durational. It's only because we have a very thorough 2 big circuits. And I use the word normally and usually also, but more often than not, we do 3 or more circuits. So a little more stimulation in that. 2 big circuits today. Cruising along. High knees. Remember, I didn't say run in place. Butt kicks, jumping jacks. You've got your ski hops. Those are agility exercises. Burpees. Who doesn't love a burpee on a Monday morning, Harini? I know you thought you snuck in here earlier, but I saw you. I saw you, right? Move, big, slow, powerful. 300 movements. I am going to start talking about the next circuit. I do not expect you to be there. However, based on what you have chosen, you might be getting closer. We're going to do the opposite circuit, okay, per se. We're going to do stability pushes, single side pushes when you get there. That is going to replace your balancing or loaded rows. We're not starting, I'm just talking about it. So we have a right side push. Your pulling exercise, you can either stay laying on something on your lap pullovers, or you can get tall and do biceps. So you have a choice of doing lats and biceps, right? Same rhythm. We'll do a right side push. We'll do our 30 down by 5 pulling. We'll have a left side push. And then I'm going to be changing the legs, right? You'll have your alternating legs and your alternating abs core. So very, very, very similar rhythm. The only thing is we just change the numbers a tiny bit on the alternating legs and abs, okay? So I know we're not there, but when you get there, just get your space ready. You're going to want to lay on something for your stability pushes. You can lay on your ball, you can lay on a bench, you can lay on the ground. I'll show you how to get unstable so your body can work through the stability, right? That's the whole intent. When us lowly old trainers say the word stability, we're actually trying to get you in an unstable position so your body creates its own stability. Alrighty, I am gonna start. You do not have to be there. I definitely like your eyes and ears, okay? But make sure you get your 300 exertions done. Remember, 5 minutes of work, running, rowing, biking, hiking, all those things. Just gonna give it one more second to make sure everybody's ready to rock and roll. Again, agility, high knees, butt kicks, jumping jacks, those things can be quicker. Ski hops, if you did all agility, it's pretty quick. Mobility is actually bigger and slower. Plyometrics, more intense. Alrighty, here is a stability push. Remember, you can lay on a stability ball and you play with the width of your feet, or you can lay on a bench or ground and I would want your legs up on the stability press. Remember, it's okay if you're not there. However, right side stability press is going to be your 8 to 12 reps just like the pulling was. The benefit is you can stay laying on whatever you're laying on for the combo. So technically, you could lay on something, right side push. Again, I'll talk about the lat pullovers and biceps, left side push, okay? And then we'll be having our alternating legs and our alternating abs, okay? 8 to 12 on your right side stability push. Either stay laying on that tool and you're gonna do 30 on your pullovers. Lat pullovers is what I'm referring to. Or you can stand tall and do biceps. You can totally mix it up between your lat pullovers and your biceps. Okay? Same dang rhythm. And the only number change is your legs and abs. 30 pulling either lat pullovers or bicep curls. And of course you can mix up your biceps, right? Hammer curls, hammer curl with a twist, open wides. You've got different positions on your bicep curls. 30 is the number, round 1 on your lats or biceps. So today was methodical. We had the balancing or loaded rows with their pushing shoulders, triceps. So you had your traps and either shoulders or triceps. This circuit is stability pushing, so technically chest, but you combo with either lats or biceps, so a very well-rounded upper body workout. You've already done some squats, you've done some abs, and we have more of those things coming your way. Round 1, 8 to 12 right push, 30 on your pull over or bicep, and then you're gonna do your 8 to 12 left push, and then you're gonna do 20 total alternating stationary reverse lunges. Clearly, I would love the load in your hands, holding weight as much as you can hold. Remember, if you get a little bit ahead of me, that's okay. Slow those movements down. You could be laying on a bench, you could be laying on a ball, you could be laying on the ground. You have the 8 to 12 right push, 30 on your lats or biceps, 8 to 12 left push, and then your 20 total alternating stationary reverse lunges. Step, load, pull yourself up. 20 total reps is 10 each leg. And that front leg stays loaded and the front leg pulls you back up. As you can see, I'm holding weights, and I would love it if you held weights too. If you need to rest your hands, rest your hands. Okay? So when I use that word rhythm, it's the same rhythm as earlier. Right to the upper, left to the lower or abs. You're cruising along. Small number change when it came to the alternating legs and abs. Round 1, 8 to 12 right push, 30 lats or biceps, 8 to 12 left push, 20 on your alternating stationary reverse lunges. Don't wait for me. I want you to have a little bit of pace. Round 2 is your 8 to 12 right stability push. You'll have your 25 lats or triceps. You'll have your 8 to 12 left push. And then you're gonna have your 20 sit-up scissors. And like earlier, remember I already made my first mistake in 2021. I hope there's many, many more, okay? If you go out of order, that's okay. Make sure you get a right push, a left push, a double pull, and then listen for the legs and abs. There is no magic on your workouts. I try to make it magical, but there is no magic. 8 to 12 on your push, 25. Again, you could stay laying down this round. You're laying on something on your stability push. You can lay on something on your pullovers. And you're going to lay on something for your sit-up scissors. Breathe and focus. If you're doing lat pullovers, reach as far as you can reach. Elbows stay slightly bent. Don't bend and straighten your elbows. The elbows stay slightly bent. Triceps, you bend and straighten your elbows. So there actually is a pretty big difference between lat pullovers and overhead triceps. They look similar, but they're not the same. After 25 pulling, whether it's biceps or pullovers, remember you have the left side push to do, and then you have 20 sit-up scissors. Stability. Try to put your body in an unstable position. Clearly, you want that safely done, but you want to work on that stability. If you feel like it's easy, then you're not working on your stability. Scissors. When I say scissors, I am referring to a sit-up scissor. A lot of people naturally will do a horizontal scissor. I don't want that today, but I do want that big, slow sit-up scissor. 20 total sit-up scissors. Again, simple, smooth, thorough day. Even though the reps are moderate high, you're almost done. Okay, you're on the home stretch. You've done the first 2 long rounds of this circuit. You have 4 more shorter rounds of this circuit. So round 2 was 8 to 12 right push, the 25 on your pull, the 8 to 12 left push, and then the 20 on your sit-up scissors. Take a big deep breath. Remember, you could have laid on the ground for quite a while. You're going to have the 8 to 12 right push for the 3rd time, 20 on your pulling, whether it's pullovers or biceps. So same idea, you're almost there, we're almost done. Don't fall back asleep. That exertion should have woken your body up. When you do get done with this round, it's going to be 20 total stationary forward lunges, not stationary reverse lunges. Round 3, 8 to 12 right push, 20 on your pull. Remember, if you go out of order, that's okay. Make sure you get both of your pushes done. Make sure you get your 20 on your pulling done. Biceps and lats. And again, you guys know me so well. I know we're doing some legs and abs today, but numerically, it's not very many legs and abs for you. Very much an upper body focus with pushing and pulling and stability and balance. We just incorporate the legs and abs so we can get other things besides the upper body, either to rest your hands or to maintain load. Round 3, 8 to 12, right push, 20 on your pull, either lat pullovers or bicep curls, and then 20 total alternating stationary forward lunges. Step, load, and push yourself back. Again, we did some earlier on our warm-up. Hopefully you're able to hold weight. However, if your hands need to take a break, it is a good opportunity to rest your hands. Remember, I know what time it is. You guys are almost done. Don't go any faster. And remember, if you have to leave, awesome. Nothing is going to imbalance you. Or there's no formal huge right circuit and left circuit. 20 total alternating stationary forward lunges. Breathe Focus. And if you need to put the weight down, you put the weight down. The intent is that today was heavy and slow. Stability, balance, pushing, pulling. Hundreds of reps. Some squats, lunges and abs. Exertion, cardio if you have the tools. Round 4, I'm not saying you should be there. Remember, I want to be a little ahead of you so you know what to do and you don't have to wait. If you are waiting for me, slow your movements down and stretch for a second, right? It's not going to kill you to stretch for a second. Round 4, 8 to 12 stability press, 15 on your pulling, 8 to 12 on the other side, and then you're going to have your 20 slow runners. So you're almost done, you guys. Home stretch. I know the reps feel high. I know it's tedious. The rep range on the stability, balancing, pulling, pushing, those were technically lower reps. It all just depends on the weight that you get to use. It was just a lot of rounds. This round, clearly you can stay on the ground the whole time if you want to. 8 to 12 right push, 15 on your pulling, lats or biceps, 8 to 12 left push. It's okay if you go out of order, get them all done. 20 slow runners. Runners is elbows to knees laying on the ground. The bigger, slower version. Remember, for personally, I don't like the exercise bicycles. Most people get their neck and their back with the intent of getting their abs. Runners just slows you down and it helps you focus. You can start from the ground and have that concentric ab exercise, right? The double motion, right? You can start from the up and have an isometric component, and then you focus on the eccentric part of the exercise, even though they look very similar. 20 slow runners is the end of round 4. You're almost done. If you gotta go, you gotta go. Pat yourself on the back. Monday, have a great day, but we're not done yet. If you have time, you've got the 2 more rounds. Round 5, right side stability push, 8 to 12. You have your 10 on your pulling, lats or biceps. You have your 8 to 12 left push. You're then gonna have your 20 total alternating, and you have a choice based on your tools. Step ups if you have step ups, lateral lunges if you don't have a step up tool. And if you go out of order, that's okay. Get them all done. 8 to 12 right push, 10 on your pulling, lats or biceps, 8 to 12 on your left push, and then either 20 step ups or 20 lateral lunges. And then you have that one last round and you're all done. Tedious, thorough, long. 2 big circuits. Definitely a mindful style workout, right? You had to kind of be mindful. However, I wanted to add stimulation, and you're able to adjust the workout in that. We have a bunch of different styles of workouts the last week and a half, 2 weeks. So we can always push rewind and go repeat those. Round 5, step ups if you have the tool, or lateral lunges if you don't have the tool. 20 total alternating legs. And then please do the 1 more round of your stability push. Your 5 pulling. And then you'll have your 20 total alternating swimmers. And then you're done. Again, nothing will imbalance if you can't get to it. If you have the tool, step ups. The stepping leg is the loaded leg, it's the working leg. Going up is the exercise, stepping up is the hard part. Make sure you focus on the way back down. That's when people get in trouble. Lateral lunges, whether you have weight or not, You've got the step loading lateral, and you're pushing yourself back, right? Pushing leg exercises, the rhythm is step, load, and push yourself back. Pulling exercise, step, load, and pull yourself up. So they're actually kind of this different mindset. Round 5 was the stability push. You have the 10 on the pull, and then you have the 20 on either step ups or lateral lunges. Last round, you have the last 8 to 12 stability push. You have the last 5 pulling. You have the last of those things, right? And then 20 swimmers, either laying on your stomach or you're on your hands and knees. I know what time it is. I know the workout was long. What I don't want you to do is go run and push the off button and go sit down and go to work. I would like you to cool off, stretch out. And as I've been hammering on you guys so much lately, whatever you do after your workout, your body will absorb the most. So if you go sit down and get to work, your body is going to absorb that tightness, right? And you're not going to be able to recover. I didn't say it was bad for you. That's just what your body is going to absorb. If you work on your stretching, your body will work on that elongation of muscle. Great time to stretch. You've got really warm muscles. If you want to work on your hydration, what a great time to get hydrated. Go start drinking that water. If you want to focus on your nutrition, this is the best time to put the good protein in your body, and even the good carbs and fats too. But whatever you do after this, your body will absorb the most of, okay? And you got about a 30-minute window to capitalize on it, right? When you get done, stretch, focus, breathe, hydrate, nutrition, pat yourself on the back. I'll see you on Wednesday morning. Happy Monday.